Hi everybody, welcome to Karen's Sizzle and Spice. As many of you know, I have been cooking for a long time, over 40 years now. And you know, I used to think it was really an important time of the day to sit down to have dinner with my kids. So many of the foods that I make and the smells that fill my house really bring back such great memories for me because my kids are fully grown now. This casserole that I'm gonna make today, a breakfast casserole, brings such good memories to my mind because we used to go to a cottage in the northern woods where I would have to cook and clean, so it wasn't a fabulous vacation, but the kids loved it and there's wonderful memories there. So we would arrive at the cottage. We were all pretty tired from the long drive, but we would unload the luggage and then we would go to the grocery store to get all our groceries, and the kids could pick out their special treats. And the first thing I would do when we got back to the cottage is I would make this breakfast casserole, and then I'd throw it in the refrigerator overnight, and then first thing in the morning before the kids were up, I would put it in the oven so that they could wake up to the smell. So it's just a really fond memory for my children and myself. So what we're gonna need for this casserole is we're gonna need 1 loaf of bread, the regular size. We are going to use 12 eggs. Of course, we'll need salt and pepper. And we're going to use 2 kinds of cheese, about 12 ounces total. You can choose any cheese you like, but I'm going to mix Colby Jack with some sharp cheddar. I'm going to use some simple brown and served sausage, and we got about 12 ounces here. I'm going to brown this up. I had some leftover red bell pepper, which I love. I'm going to saute that up for the casserole. We're going to use a little bit of dry mustard. We're going to use a can of cream of mushroom soup. And I'm going to use some green onion, which I also love, and we'll use a couple of cups of milk, 2 to 3 cups of milk. So let's get this started. I'm laughing because if my kids watch this video, they're going to see the red bell pepper and they're going to say, "What? You never put that in the casserole before, Mom." And you know what? They're right. But I love red bell pepper. You can add other things to this too if you like. You can add onion inside the casserole. You could do bacon instead of sausage. You could put mushrooms in it, whatever you like. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just cut up the sausage here into bite-sized pieces. I've got a pan on the stove on medium heat, and I'm gonna saute the red bell pepper first and then the sausage, so to get it ready for the casserole.
Okay.
I'm just adding the breakfast sausage that I cut up into small pieces. It just tastes better in this casserole if it's smaller. And you know, you don't really have to cook this, but brown food tastes better. So I'm gonna let this saute for 3 or 4 minutes, and then it will be ready to throw into this delicious casserole. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how I cut up the bread. We're gonna dice the whole loaf of bread into cubes, and we'll throw them into a big bowl ready for the egg mixture that's going to go over it. So that's all there is, the whole loaf of bread cut in small squares. We're going to add it to this bowl. I'm just going to finish doing that and let the vegetables cook, and then I'll show you the next step. I have a 13 by 9 casserole dish that I'm prepared with cam spray so nothing sticks. Here's my bowl of the whole loaf of bread cut into cubes, and I'm going to start adding all the goodness now. I whisked up 12 eggs really well, and I'm going to pour that right into the bread mixture. This is the fun part where I get to dump everything in there. I'm going to add the breakfast sausage and red bell pepper and all their juicy goodness. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I'm going to add, like I said, about 12 ounces of cheese. I'm using Colby Jack, and I'm using sharp cheddar. A couple of big, good handfuls. I'm going to salt, good amount of salt, and remember, you can always tweak to taste later and add more. I love ground pepper, So I'm gonna add a good amount of ground pepper in here, and we're gonna start to stir this mixture before we add a couple more ingredients. Oh my goodness, it smells so good, and that aroma really takes me back to that Northern Woods cottage that we used to go to. Okay, I'm gonna add about 2.5 cups of milk. You can use whole milk or skim. It won't really affect the taste of this casserole. I'm going to add some green onion to the mix. I'm going to add a good heaping tablespoon of dry mustard. Gives it a nice twang. We're going to mix this up really well. What do you think, Eddie? Does it smell good?
Certainly does, and it's not even cooked yet.
No. Tastes great. It smells great. Okay. I think it looks like it's about the perfect mixture. You see, it's kind of like maybe like a thick stew. That's how you know you have enough eggs in here and enough milk. Now I'm going to pour it into my casserole dish. Just like that. Oh yeah. All that goodness. Then what I'm gonna do is, for the final touch, I'm gonna flatten it all out. I am going to add a little more cheese on top. Again, the Colby Jack and the sharp cheddar. Oh my goodness, yeah. And then for the last part of this, I'm going to take a can of mushroom soup, and I'm going to add just enough milk to it to make it a little creamier. I'm using skim milk here. I'm going to stir it up with the whisk. There we go. And then once we got this mix nice and smooth, we're gonna pour it right over the top of the casserole, nice and evenly. And when you put this casserole in the oven, be sure to put it on top of a cookie sheet, because it probably will boil over a bit as it cooks. So I'm gonna put it on top of my baking sheet, and I'm gonna put it right on the top shelf in the oven. It's gonna take 45 minutes to an hour to finish, and I'll show you what it looks like then. We'll be back. I wanted to show you how this breakfast bake puffs up. This is exactly why I told you that you need to put the cookie sheet underneath it, but look at that goodness. Oh my gosh. I so wish that you guys could smell this. It smells heavenly. It's almost done. I have to show you what this looks like coming out of the oven. It is incredible. Oh my gosh, look at this. Whoa. It is hot and it's sizzling. And you can see how it's puffed up. I'm gonna let it cool for a while, because it would be impossible to eat at this point. It's so hot. And you know what? It'll lower a little bit as it cools, and it will be easier to slice then. I'll show you it when I slice it. I am so excited this casserole is ready to go. Sometimes the first piece is the hardest one to get, but it's very easy to cut now that it's cooled for a little bit of time. Cut a nice big hunk to taste. Yum, yum. Let's see. Ooh, I think it's gonna come out just fine. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah. Wow. It is steaming hot, light and fluffy on the inside. just taste this. Oh, wow, looks wonderful. Oh, it's savory. I can taste the red bell pepper. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. And of course the cheese, the flavor of the cheese is wonderful. You can see it's steaming. So I think I'm gonna let this cool off a little bit before I eat more. If you've liked what you've seen today, please be sure to subscribe to my page and give my video a like. I'll see you guys next time. And remember, you eat with your eyes first, so why not make it beautiful? Bye-bye.